Story opens on a ship, cutting through open water with a small group of passengers on board. Standing near the railing is a girl named Amy, and she's not looking too happy. Today's her birthday, and she's convinced her dad forgot to get her a gift. But then her father John walks up and hands her a walkie-talkie. Amy's face lights up instantly, and right at that moment, everyone on deck starts shouting and pointing at the water. Dolphins! A whole pod of them, leaping through the waves, racing toward the shore at full speed. Everyone on board is thrilled, snapping photos, cheering them on. What none of them realize is that those dolphins aren't playing. They're running for their lives. Something massive is hunting them from below. Nobody on that ship has a clue what's coming. They're all still watching the dolphins, completely unaware that in the next few minutes, their entire world is about to flip upside down. Literally. Without warning, a monster erupts from beneath the surface and slams into the ship. The whole thing capsizes, throwing everyone into the water. They never even get a clear look at what hit them. Somehow, they claw their way to shore and wash up on a deserted island. One where, of course, there's no cell signal. No way to call for help. They're completely cut off. We find John lying unconscious on the beach. A stranger drags him out of the water, and the moment John comes to, he's frantically searching for his daughter. She's nowhere in sight, until her voice crackles through the walkie-talkie. Just as quickly, it cuts out. Desperate, John pushes forward and spots a cluster of survivors a little further down the beach. Amy's among them. Relief floods through him. He starts running toward her, but a man grabs his arm and stops him cold, pointing toward exactly where John was headed. And there it is. The same monstrous serpent that flipped their ship. The thing is massive, grotesque, the kind of creature that makes everyone's blood run cold just looking at it. The people standing closest to it scatter immediately. Too late. The creature lunges and starts swallowing them whole, one after another. John sees his daughter is in danger and breaks into a sprint, but the man holding him back knows exactly what will happen if John gets any closer. He'll die too. John fights to break free, screaming that he has to save her. The man tells him it's already too late, and it is. The serpent swallows Amy alive, right in front of him, along with several others, before slithering back into the jungle. Joe collapses, sobbing, having just watched his daughter get devoured in front of his eyes, with absolutely nothing he could do to stop it. Then, static, and her voice again, coming through the walkie-talkie. It hits him instantly. She's not dead. She's alive, somewhere inside that creature's stomach. He decides right then that he's going after her. As he's about to head into the jungle, a man named Jack steps up, ready to go with him. A few others agree to join too, though several try to talk them out of it, warning that the jungle is a death trap and anyone who goes in won't come out. They don't listen. They head in anyway, and the people who stayed behind write them off as fools walking straight into their own graves. What those people left behind don't realize is that the jungle isn't the only dangerous place on this island. Something reaches out and drags one of their own group into the trees. Panic erupts, and everyone scatters, except for the one man who has no idea what just happened. Ironically, he's the same guy who'd been warning everyone not to go into the jungle in the first place. He turns around just in time to see a red tongue shoot out from the trees, wrap around him, and yank him in. Meanwhile, deep in the jungle, the giant serpent returns to its nest and starts spitting out its victims into a pit, dropping them one by one before heading back out to hunt for more. It becomes clear this is a female, and that pit is full of her eggs. She's been gathering food to feed her hatchlings once they're born. After she leaves, it turns out some of the people she swallowed are still alive, Amy among them. The ship's captain, also a survivor, starts searching for a way out. When he reaches the center of the pit, he realizes escape is basically impossible. It's too deep, and they're stuck right in the middle of the jungle where no rescue could ever reach them. That's when they notice the eggs. The captain reaches out toward them, but Amy stops him, warning that the eggs could hatch any second, and if they do, they're all dead. Everyone's terrified, but a businessman named Young tries to calm them down, arguing that the eggs are still fresh. The babies haven't fully developed yet, and if they smash them now, the hatchlings will die before they're even born, saving everyone's lives. He grabs a rock and smashes one open. Instead of a dead embryo, a fully formed baby serpent bursts out, very much alive. Everyone panics and turns on him, furious that his reckless decision just put all their lives at even greater risk. They scatter behind a large rock as the hatchling hunts for them. It spots a badly injured girl who can't run, and it kills her instantly. Cut to the jungle, where the rescue group is still tracking the serpent's trail, having found neither the monster nor any of the people it swallowed. Hours into their search, exhausted but not giving up, they stumble onto an old, abandoned factory. Inside, everything is in disarray, scattered and broken, and they spot a soldier's skeleton, which sends a chill through the group. While searching for supplies, they find rows of unlabeled chemical bottles, completely baffled as to what chemicals would be doing in the middle of a jungle. When they pry open a cabinet, they find stacks of old books revealing the truth. This wasn't a factory at all. It was an experimental research lab where scientists once studied animals. Strange photographs of mutated creatures confirm it. The wildlife on this island didn't just grow massive and bloodthirsty naturally, it was made that way. Realizing just how dangerous this place really is, that even the trees and plants might be alive and hostile, they push forward more carefully, eventually leaving the lab and stopping to rest in another part of the jungle. Jack cuts into a tree trunk, and a thick black liquid starts oozing out. At the same time, one of their group lights a match for a cigarette and accidentally drops it. It lands right in the black liquid, and the whole thing erupts into a wall of fire. They manage to put it out, but it's obvious now that black sap is extremely flammable and dangerous. The fire's out, but the smoke from it starts affecting John. He gets dizzy, disoriented, and starts seeing things that aren't really there. His friends seem to be staring at him, laughing in a twisted, mocking way. The giant serpent appears, closing in on him, and he hears Amy's voice in his head, telling him he failed to save her. The serpent lunges, and then Jack throws water in his face, snapping him out of it. None of it was real. The hallucination was caused entirely by the toxic smoke from that black liquid. When they turn around, they see their other companions actually trapped, caught in living tentacles from the tree, which is dragging them in to kill them. This isn't an ordinary tree either. The experiments out here have turned even the plant life into something predatory. They manage to free most of their friends, but lose one who'd been held too long in the tree's grip. Everyone's shaken, and they don't waste time getting away while the tree's tentacles keep reaching for them. Back at the nest, the businessman finishes off the baby serpent he accidentally hatched, then immediately starts spiraling, turning on the captain and blaming him for everything, insisting that if the captain had just steered the ship to shore, none of this would have happened. A woman named Sushi steps in to break up the fight, pointing out that arguing isn't going to get anyone out of this. They need to work together to find a way out, or they're all going to die. Meanwhile, the other group is still pushing through the jungle, hours of walking taking their toll. One of them heads to a nearby river to refill water, and that's when he hears a strange noise echoing around him. Before he can figure out what it is, a flying fish slams into him out of nowhere, huge teeth, genuinely terrifying to look at, and it attacks. He manages to grab it and throw it back into the river before sprinting back to his friends, because that strange sound is getting louder, and he realizes more of these things are coming. He's right. A swarm of these flying, fanged fish comes pouring out of a thick mist, chasing him down, and their numbers just keep growing, practically raining from the sky. The group realizes if these things catch up, they'll be torn apart, so they run. But the fish are way faster than they are, forcing everyone to dive behind a tree for cover. Jack notices the fish seem to be traveling with this white fog, and once he puts it together, he tells everyone to get clear of the mist. They scramble out, and the moment they're free of it, the threat disappears. Every fish that had chased them out of the fog drops dead almost instantly. But the danger isn't over. Jack spots a massive footprint, way too big to belong to anything normal, and right after, a white liquid drips down onto one of their group's shirt from above. He looks up and sees a bizarre creature perched in the tree, and everyone freaks out. One of the men is about to smash it with a rock when a red tongue shoots out of nowhere and swallows the creature whole. The same red tongue from earlier in the story. Then a massive creature leaps into view, and it's revealed to be a frog, grotesquely enlarged by the same experiments that twisted everything else on this island. Seeing a frog that size sends everyone running for their lives, but the creature shoots out its tongue and grabs an elderly man in the group, reeling him in. He manages to grab onto a tree, and the others rush to help pull him free. Together they fight against the creature's pull, but it's simply too strong for them, slowly dragging them all closer. Just as it's about to overpower them, Jack runs in and hurls a sharp weapon straight into the creature's eye. It shrieks in pain and lets go of the old man, giving everyone a chance to escape, and they take off running deeper into the jungle. But now the frog creature is enraged, and it doesn't give up the chase, covering in a single leap what took them ages to run. Right as it's about to catch them, the giant serpent suddenly appears and snatches it out of the air, swallowing it whole. They've escaped one threat only to draw the attention of something even more dangerous, and now the serpent locks onto them. Jack, John, and another companion manage to sprint off in a different direction, but the elderly man and another guy can't keep up, and the serpent goes after them instead. Luckily, it gets its body wedged between a cluster of trees, unable to reach far enough to grab them. But it doesn't give up. It starts forcing its way through, snapping the trees, about to reach them anyway, when one of their friends shows up and throws a coconut at it to distract it. The serpent, furious, abandons the two trapped men and chases after him instead. He manages to dodge behind a tree, breaking its line of sight and saving his own life. The serpent then turns its attention back to hunting down the old man and his companion. The old man hides behind a tree successfully, but the serpent spots his friend and swallows him. It then goes right back to hunting the rest of the group, and they realize this thing isn't going to stop until it's killed every last one of them. With nowhere else to run, they jump into a filthy ditch full of water and hold their breath, hiding beneath the surface. The serpent shows up moments later, scanning the area, but it can't spot them and eventually moves on. Cut back to the businessman, still trying to find a way out of the pit with no luck, until suddenly the ground starts shaking violently. They realize immediately what that means. The serpent's coming back. They drop to the ground and play dead, hoping it'll buy them time, and it actually works. The serpent arrives and dumps another captive into the pit, presumably stockpiling food for when her hatchlings emerge. But then her eyes fall on her dead baby, the one the businessman killed earlier, and she goes into a rage. Believing everyone in the pit is dead, since they're all playing along, she assumes someone outside the jungle must have killed her offspring, and storms off furious to hunt down whoever's responsible, completely unaware the real culprit is still down in the pit. The moment she's gone, the group tries to escape again, but the remaining eggs start shaking. They're about to hatch. Panic spreads instantly, and everyone scrambles away, except Amy, who stays put, standing her ground as one of the eggs cracks open and a baby serpent emerges. Instead of running, Amy bravely steps closer and places her hand on the hatchling's head, treating it gently, like a companion, rather than prey. And remarkably, it works. The baby serpent doesn't attack her. It starts seeing her as its mother. Amy had read in one of the lab's books that a newly hatched serpent, lacking its actual mother, will bond with whatever living creature is nearest to it and treat it as its own. The hatchling then turns its attention to the rest of the group, grabbing one man and killing him. The businessman, instead of helping his trapped companion, uses the chaos to scramble his way out of the pit entirely. Once he's out, the people still trapped below call up to him, begging for help. But he's far too selfish for that. He simply abandons them to die and walks away. Meanwhile, the other group pushes deeper into the jungle and stumbles onto an old house, searching it for supplies. That's when the businessman comes running in, having made his way there after leaving everyone behind in the pit. The group immediately asks him what happened to the others, and John specifically asks about Amy. The businessman flat out lies, claiming everyone else is dead and he's the only survivor. John breaks down completely, sobbing at the news. Night falls, and the group settles in to sleep. The next morning, they're jolted awake by the sound of a helicopter. The businessman bolts outside, waving frantically to get its attention, but the helicopter is too far away to notice him and flies off. Back inside, John sits there grieving his daughter, when, suddenly, her voice crackles through the walkie-talkie again. It hits him instantly. The businessman lied. Amy's alive. Hope rushes back into him, and he runs to tell the others that his daughter and several more survivors are still out there, and they need to go save them. The businessman, desperate to cover his lie, tells John he's losing his mind, insisting there's no one left alive out there. The others, seeing how distraught John is over his daughter, start to assume grief has clouded his judgment, and they don't believe him. Then Amy's voice comes through the walkie-talkie again, clear as day, and that settles it. Everyone now knows survivors are still out there. The businessman realizes his lie is about to unravel completely, and that this group isn't going to let him just walk away from it. He bolts, running until he reaches an open clearing, where he spots a helicopter approaching in the distance. Thrilled, he starts waving his arms to flag it down. Just as the helicopter gets close enough, the giant serpent appears out of nowhere and snatches it right out of the sky in one bite. The businessman watches, devastated, his last hope gone in an instant. Meanwhile, John is deep in the jungle searching for his daughter, and he finally manages to get through to her on the walkie-talkie. Sushi takes it from Amy and tells John they're trapped in a pit right in the middle of the jungle. The moment John hears that, he starts searching for the pit, and the clarity of the signal tells him she has to be close by. Back with Amy and Sushi, all the remaining eggs have now hatched, and the baby serpents start closing in on the two girls. Just before the hatchlings can attack, the very first one, the one that bonded with Amy as its mother, blocks the others, protecting her. At that exact moment, Amy hears her father's voice calling out, and she screams back, loud enough that John hears her and tracks the sound straight to the pit. Seeing his daughter alive fills him with relief, but it's short-lived, because dozens of baby serpents are still closing in on her from below. John frantically rips a tree root free and lowers it into the pit, slowly pulling the girls up. But then the mother serpent shows up, furious, and she's about to kill John when one of their companions rushes in and stabs her in the eye with a sharp tool, sending her into a thrashing fit of pain. While she's distracted, John uses the window to pull as hard as he can, trying to get both girls out of the pit at once. It's tough going alone, and the hatchlings are gaining ground fast. If the girls aren't pulled out in time, they'll be devoured. That's when the ship's captain throws himself into action, helping haul both girls to safety without a second thought for his own life. He manages to get them both out, but pays for it with his own life, as the baby serpents swarm and kill him. John, overwhelmed with relief at having his daughter back, doesn't get long to celebrate, because the mother serpent turns her attention back to the group, forcing everyone to run again. Cut to the businessman, still scrambling through the jungle trying to find his way out, when his foot slips and he falls straight back down into the same pit he barely escaped from. The baby serpents swarm him instantly and finish him off. Meanwhile, the rest of the group is sprinting away from the mother serpent, who refuses to give up the chase. Jack tells everyone their best shot is to split up and scatter in different directions. Staying together means they all die. Everyone agrees and breaks off in separate directions, but Amy ends up running the wrong way, straight toward where the serpent is coming from. Jack screams at her to turn back, but it's too late. The serpent catches up and swallows her again. Seeing this sends John into a blind rage, and with nothing left to lose since Amy was the only family he had left in the world, he charges straight at the massive serpent, ready to fight it alone. The serpent is about to kill him when Jack shows up holding a burning branch. Realizing this serpent has to die, or none of them will ever make it out of this jungle alive, Jack comes up with a plan. He waves the flaming branch around to bait the serpent into chasing him instead, then sprints toward the part of the jungle where that black flammable liquid had spilled earlier. The moment the serpent reaches that area, Jack hurls the burning branch directly into the liquid. The whole area goes up in flames instantly, and the serpent's entire body catches fire. It thrashes in agony, desperately trying to escape back out of the jungle, but by then it's too far gone, its body completely consumed by fire, and the serpent finally dies. The group rushes over and pries open its mouth, pulling Amy out from inside, but she's not responding. For a moment, everyone fears the worst, assuming she didn't make it. John refuses to accept that and keeps trying everything he can to bring her back. And then, finally, Amy stirs and regains consciousness. John's relief is immediate and overwhelming, and that's where the story ends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button.